Some lifters avoid the good morning, others do it with terrible form. But here are 4 ways to get it right from strength coach Tasha Whelan.
First up, we have the kettlebell good morning. Now this is a great variation, especially for beginners. Again, we're going to create a lot of tension in the grips, grabbing it by the bell. And what I'm looking for are co-contractions of the pecs and the lats to help stabilize the shoulder joint. Also co-contractions of the adductors, so the inner thighs with the glutes to help stabilize the hip. So from here, he's going to create as much tension as he can in the upper trunk and torso. With a soft bend in the knees, he is going to posteriorly shift his weight back into a hip hinge pattern. So go ahead and give me a couple reps here. Again, I'm making sure that he has a nice neutral spine throughout the duration of his movement. Again, I'm making sure that he is managing any unwanted rotation, so I'm paying attention to his feet, his ankles, what's going on at the knees, the hips, and even the upper trunk. Again, doing the same thing here, creating the tension with the bell, co-contractions of the pecs and the lats, glutes and the adductors. Again, you can see here he has a nice neutral spine as he is shifting his weight back posteriorly. This is a great variation to get started with. Second variation is the barbell good morning. Now the load placement here is going to be on the upper back, so this is going to really ignite a lot more musculature of the posterior chain with this variation. This variation also allows for greater loading capabilities. So make note that depending on how you choose to stand, with a wider stance or a more narrow stance, you're going to target different musculature as well. A little bit wider of a stance is going to really put emphasis on the adductors, so the inner thighs, while a more narrow stance is going to target a lot more of the hamstrings as you go into your hinging movement. So same cues apply to the barbell. I'm still looking for the co-contractions of the pecs and the lats, the glutes and the adductors to stabilize the ball and socket joints as we move through space. Again, the more tension through the body, the more stable it is. So let's see a few repetitions with the barbell good morning variation. Let's see it. Again, paying attention to a neutral spine throughout and making sure that there's not any unwanted rotation going on at the feet and the ankle complex, the hips, and the upper trunk or the shoulders. Variation number 3, the safety squat bar good morning. Now this is a great tool to utilize during this movement, especially if you have someone that struggles with external rotation and placing a barbell on their back. Now this is going to be a lot more anterior dominant with the hands in the front, again making a lot more shoulder friendly here. Loading capabilities are also increased just like they were with the barbell good morning. So this again is going a little bit more anterior, shoulder friendly. Same cues apply with the co-contractions to stabilize the ball and socket, soft knees as we shift our weight back through space. Again, being mindful of your foot stance. If you're trying to target a little bit more of the adductors, you're going to take a wider stance. If you want to get a little bit more hamstring dominant, a little bit more of a narrow stance, it's going to be better to target that tissue. And you can see that he gets his shoulders in a really friendly position. He creates a tension on the front of those handles as he is hinging through space. Again, maintain a nice neutral spine. No unwanted rotation. Some beautiful good morning repetitions right here. Lastly, we have the Zercher good morning. Now, a great tool to use for this specific variation would be a sandbag. You can also use barbell, but it might be a little bit more uncomfortable. So depending on comfort level, pick your tools wisely. So he's going to demonstrate this with a sandbag. Now the Zercher good morning allows us to place that load a lot more on the core. So we have a lot more stress and demand placed in the midsection of our body. So it's going to be set into the armpits there, hugged in nice and tight to the body to create that kind of tension we're looking for to maintain our stability. Again, same coaching cues apply with the ball and socket joints. We want to be stable as we move through space. Now again, this is going to put a little bit more emphasis on the upper back as well as the trunk and the core musculature. Now, this might be a little bit tricky for some people because that weight is now in the arms, placing a lot more stress on the upper body. So keep that in mind as you do this variation. And that load now is a lot more anterior, So again, it places a lot more emphasis on the upper trunk, the upper back to help stabilize it, the core musculature. Neutral spine. Again, decide on your foot placement, more narrow for more hamstring dominant, a little wider to tap into those adductors a little bit more. So try those variations out and have some fun.
If you enjoyed this information, hit that like button to let us know. Plus, if you never want to miss another T Nation video again, hit subscribe and that little notification bell right next to it.